Hey guys, right now it's 6 o'clock Eastern Time and the date is October 7th, 2022. So today was a really bad day for the market. SPX and SPY both had near 3% days and QQQ had almost a negative 4% day. So when I see that, that is really bad, really bad for the market. Basically, if we look at SPY, we kind of gave up all the week's gains in one day. My indication when I see this is yes, we're entering another time of where puts will just pay if you enter them in the morning. So if you watched yesterday's video, you know that I had my eyes on SPX as an indicator for where the market is going to be. So SPX, if you look at it right here, we opened, this is the 1 hour time frame. We opened at 30 almost 3700, and then we closed near 3639, and we had one green candle to close the day. However, I would like to point out that this green candle got wicked right at the support, which is now considered a resistance because we went underneath it. So if we do not break this resistance to the upside, I believe we test this low, this yearly low, this 52-week low, and if we break this low, we'll be in a really bad place for the stock market. So let's take a look at some other tickers that I want to bring to your attention. So today we had one play on QQQ. So QQQ got beat up over AMD earnings. So AMD pre-released their earnings yesterday around 4 o'clock, 4:30, and they pre-released their earnings, and they basically said that our earnings are coming up, and what they did was basically they took the Nvidia route, and they were like, okay, so our earnings are coming up, and we know we're not going to do well, so we're going to pre-release them in hopes that by the time that we do release them, the market will be in a better place, and we won't be tanking the market. And what do I think it's gonna work? No, definitely not. I don't think this is. I think that a lot of people are positive on an AMD in the long run. I am too, but right now the market is in a brutal place, and even if they have a pre-released earnings, I don't think it's enough to save them from when they actually do release their earnings. So yeah, you guys can consider looking at AMD puts for when they release earnings, or even INTC puts, because INTC has earnings on the 27th of this month. So yeah, that's one play for AMD. AMD and Nvidia, both semiconductor companies, and they both had really bad days. You can see on both of them, none of them had one singular green candle. If you look at Soxel, which is a semiconductor ETF, uh, they got demolished today. Soxel was at the high of the week is around almost $12. Now it's at $9, so it's a $3 loss in almost one. It's basically one day. This was the only big red volume day today this week. This week was mostly consolidation to the upside. Even though we did have a lot of red candles in these green days, I would still consider them to be bullish days. So that is my semiconductors and what I think about them. I think they still have a long way to go in terms of finding a good proper support. But that also goes for my general understanding of the market right now. I think the market just is not in a good place. So I want to look at these two tickers right here, Amazon and Microsoft. So Amazon, this is Microsoft. Amazon is in a place where they have a strong support around this 112 to 113 area. That's a very big support. And if we're at 114 right now, 115 basically. If we get a gap down to the 112, 113 level, and we do not bounce there, we will see very bad places for Amazon. I think Amazon could drop to even 108 to 104, around that area. However, my more important play, what I saw today, was Microsoft. Microsoft has not been in the best of the place. Microsoft is kind of weak against the market right now, but let's take a look at this chart for today. This is a 1 hour time frame on Microsoft. So Microsoft, if you go and you zoom out to the 15 minute time frame, Microsoft had every single green candle that Microsoft had was followed by a even bigger red candle. So, with the exception of this one, so Microsoft has been beat up today, and in my mind, Microsoft, if it continues to front run the market in a way that they fall harder than the general market does, put side on Microsoft just seems to be a smart, easy play to me. I think if you guys want to add this to your IRAs, you should wait for it to find a nice bottom. I think we'll find a nice bottom around 200, maybe 215. I think we have a long way to drop on Microsoft and tech in general. Tech in general is fairly overvalued. If I mean the only real ticker on the tech side that I'm not too sure on the put side is Snow. So Snow is having the dancing with the EMA, the white line being the 200 EMA and the orange line being the 50 EMA. Even though Snow was it dropped today with the rest of the market, it followed the market drop. It was also not as beat up as the rest of the market is. Snow is at 175 right now, and I think that it's gonna respect its support around 165. If it breaks 165, then we'll have some problems. But if we look at this day and we see this one particular candle, I remember watching this in real time, and this candle got bought up all the way. I wanted to enter put side here, but when I saw this big wick off of it, I realized that it was not going to be a good play. So that rounds up my Snow analysis. LMT is a weird ticker right now also. I liked playing LMT from this all the way down to here. That was a really good sell signal. I really want to enter LMT puts, but it's too news heavy right now in the general war state of Ukraine and Russia, and how Russia right now is being kind of weird in how they want to handle things. I'm not going to enter LMT until we have proper direction on how the world's going to handle this Ukraine Russia drama that's going on. So next, let's take a look at Apple. Apple is a very large part of SPY, so of course Apple had a bad day too. Apple's sitting right now right under 140. I think we're gonna go all the way down to 135 by next week. If we go down to 135, I think if we stay there under 135 and we don't see any signs of support, I would be entering 120 puts maybe 2 months out, maybe 3 months out. If the Federal Reserve is taking much more slow approach to inflation, we could see a couple more drops in the market before we see some pickup. But right now, I think it's just safer to wait for entries on put side than it is to play the short term green. Let's see. The last ticker I want to talk to you guys about is this pair of tickers, TQQQ and SQQQ. So TQQQ is a pro bullish. It's a pro bullish. Okay, I'm looking at the wrong chart. It's a pro bullish ETF. No, not an ETF. It's a ticker that's pro bullish on tech. So TQQQ, and basically it's cheaper to play than QQQ is. So what I like to play options that are 1 month out, maybe 3 weeks out, 5 weeks out, whatever it may be. It's much more affordable on my end to play a TQQQ option. It basically is the same thing as QQQ. They have really similar charts, and it's way cheaper upfront. Even though the volatility is not really the best, because the contracts won't move very fast, but they will move consistently. If you get the general direction right on the TQQQ or an SQQQ put or call, whatever it may be, you will still make a lot of money. Right now, I entered a TQQQ short side trade right here, and the most downside I saw on this position was around minus 5%, which is nothing to me. I don't think that's a lot, and I think that right now the position is sitting around plus 70%, and I'm going to continue to hold that position until near CPI. So yeah, so SQQQ and TQQQ, add them to your watch list. They're very good tickers to have. They're very affordable. You can play them long run. You can play them short side. They're very good tickers to have on your watch list. Now, for the second half of this video, let's talk about what we're gonna do for the next week. So next week, Thursday, 8:30 pre-market, we're going to have CPI. CPI for we're gonna have the CPI results of September, and I think that we're still going to drop. However, I am not willing to take a bet on that. You remember this, guys. If you play the market, the only reason you should be in a position is if you know that it's gonna make you money. So if you don't know what CPI is going to be, if like right now, a lot of people are saying that yeah, we're gonna have a bullish CPI. A lot of people are saying no, we're gonna have a bearish CPI. If you don't have a clear idea of what the market is going to be like after CPI, don't play it. I know a lot of people will say strangles into CPI. No, don't play CPI if you can't afford to lose on the trade. Every trade that you enter, you should be okay with going to zero. And CPI, which is like a coin flip basically, I am not willing to take that risk. Remember this, guys. You will lose money 100%. When you take a position and on options, you're willing to lose 100% of the money if you don't run a stop. However, if you manage your risk and you tell yourself, okay, I'm not going to play CPI. However, I will play the general direction after CPI. If we get a green CPI, and we will follow and we will most likely follow green the rest of the day. If you want to enter calls around 10 a.m., 9:30, even if you want to enter calls in the morning, it is a much safer bet to do that than it is to call green or red on CPI. I do not recommend anyone plays this particular CPI or any CPI if you're not able to afford the loss. That goes for a lot of small accounts. And so my positions, I'm going to be holding my bearish positions, my TQQQ puts. I'm going to hold those all the way towards Thursday, a Wednesday close. I'll look to exit them around Wednesday. If I see an exit opportunity before then, I'll exit. And I don't want to hold any position while CPI is while we have CPI basically. And yeah, that is my general macro analysis on what I'm going to do next week. There's a lot more. There probably is more news that's coming up that I haven't taken account for, but when I do, I'll alert more trades. If you want to follow the Discord, there's a Discord link in my about page, and yeah, you could follow the Twitter for call outs every single day, and subscribe to the Patreon if you want to get access to my swing trades like the TQQ. They're up 70%, so you know they're making some good money. That's all I'm gonna say. So yeah, if you guys like the video, be sure to drop a like, drop a subscribe, and drop a comment. Tell me what I can improve on. I'm relatively new to the YouTube game. I know my mic isn't the greatest. We're working on it, guys. We're working on it. See you guys next time.